The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small, and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us, that's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family, and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and I, we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Deaf Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.
Welcome to the On Seagal podcast. My name is Trevor Gumbel, and with me, as always, is...
me, Chris Stachiw. And on this episode of On Seagal, we are going to be taking a look at another Steven Seagal film. This time, however, we are going to be taking a look at an old Seagal film, not a new one, because, hey, we can't always be watching General Commander now, could we?
No, we can't, thankfully.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think is what you mean. But no, on this episode of On Seagal, we are going to be taking a look at a film that I know both of us have seen and both of us like a lot. We're going to be talking about 1990s, Marked for Death.
Fuck yeah.
Jamaican gangs known as posses are now dominating the American drug trade.
In Above the Law, he got tough.
Who's that?
John Hatcher, DEA.
In Hard to Kill, he got even.
This is not the time for you to walk out on me. I've had enough. He thinks he's retired.
He still looks functional to me.
Now, the man with the short fuse is marked for death.
I want you to meet my sister, goddess of fire.
Steven Seagal is John Hatcher.
He's dead. And he don't even know it.
A good cop.
Your family has been marked.
In a bad mood.
Said he'd kill us both.
I don't think he's gonna get the chance.
What are you planning to do?
I'm gonna take out the posse.
One thought he was invincible. The other thought he could fly. They were both wrong. Who do you fear? Him or me? I'm gonna deliver you into the light.
Steven Seagal is marked for death.
It's my silent partner.
But this time, he's bringing out the big guns. Steven Seagal, marked for death.
Are you some kind of cop?
Nah, I'm just a concerned citizen.
So the film is directed by Dwight H. Little. It is written by Michael Grayus and Mark Victor. It stars, once again, as always, Mr. Steven Seagal as another guy who is down on his luck, who finds that bad people are in his hometown. This time he's a former DEA agent who meets Danny Trejo at the beginning of the movie. Isn't that weird? And then he comes back home, and it turns out that I guess in Lincoln Heights in Chicago, there are a bunch of Jamaican voodoo people.
Drug dealers.
Yeah, sure. Let's not kid ourselves. The plot of this movie is not why you're watching it. You're watching it because it has Mr. Steven Seagal in it, and it is a film from 1990, which means undoubtedly it is a good Steven Seagal film. So, Trevor, with that in mind, thoughts on Marked for Death?
This is arguably the best Steven Seagal film. This is Seagal at his absolute finest. This is violent. This is dark. This is just badass Seagal. I mean, it is awesome. It is directed by Dwight Little, who you may know as the director of Halloween 4,
Tekken.
Yes. No, but he also did.
Let's not mention that film.
He also did the Robert Englund Phantom of the Opera. He did Rapid Fire, and he did the action classic Free Willy 2, The Adventure Home.
They were going to talk about Anaconda's Hunt for the Blood Orchid.
Yes, we are. We'll talk about that soon enough. But yes, he after a drug bust gone wrong, he returns home after basically quitting the DEA to comes home, finds out there is a Jamaican drug gang peddling crack to basically everyone, I think.
I guess so. I mean, this is, again, one of these movies where the scope of what's going on is rather small, but because of this movie and the story that they're telling, the problem looks bigger than it may actually be.
And what's funny is when Seagal notices his best friend is a football coach now.
Played by none other than Keith David.
The badass Keith David, by the way, who is fucking awesome in everything he is. He's awesome. Love Keith David. He basically has a problem with it. Duh. He tells Seagal he's fed up with it. And Seagal basically is very cavalier. He's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Not a big deal. I'm not worried about it. He's like, it's good. He doesn't seem to care because basically
I'm out of the life. That's essentially it.
He's trying to sort himself out, not worrying about others. He's working on himself because it very, very briefly touches on his Catholic faith, his faith and his soul. He talks to a priest, and the priest tells him, work on yourself, get past this life, and that's what he tries to do. But unfortunately, you move back home, finds out there's crack dealers. Kind of hard to stay away from that. But it becomes personal when they go after his family. And his niece, is shot during a revenge shooting. So Seagal decides that this is enough is enough and goes after the gang. What is the villain's name again? Do you remember?
Oh, come on. You know what the villain's name is. The villain's name in this fucking movie is Screwface.
Screwface, yes.
Basil Wallace is the best villain that we've seen so far that Seagal has had to fight.
His eyes, man. Oh my fucking God.
He's fantastic in this.
I don't know if it's the way they light his eyes or what, but those are if this guy looks at you, you shit your pants. This is a scary guy. This is a guy.
He's pretty scary in this movie.
Well, Seagal villains, so far they've not been threatening to us. They've all been kind of milquetoast. This villain, if he threatens you, you take him seriously. You're like, I'm not fucking with this guy. You know what?
I would disagree in some respects because, again, this character is given a very quick death scene. But I will agree with you. He's the best villain.
Yes, he is the best
But
villain.
He still looks weak in the end.
Well, still. But he's a great villain. I mean.
Yeah, the issue is with all these Seagal films is you have characters that are meant to be the villain in these movies that end up not really being a threat to Seagal because they never really even threaten him. I mean, most of the time they're not threatening him in these movies. They're threatening his family. Yeah. Or even in what was Beyond the Law? Even in that movie, they're not really threatening him initially. They're threatening his son, who then ends up getting killed, and then they go kill him. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. There's this weird thing in these Seagal movies that we've been seeing so far that he is always not the threat.
Well, he wasn't even the hero in that one.
No, yeah, and that one he's the villain. But I mean, again, to be fair, in that movie, though, the way they treat his character, you could make the case he is the hero, given how quickly he dispatches Johnny Messner.
Yeah.
But that's the issue with this movie is, again, the villain, as much as I like Screwface, which I do, as I know you do, and kind of the little interesting twist that they give the character, it doesn't really hit the note again of a villain that I feel is threatening to Seagal and is believably threatening. I don't find him to be believably threatening, just like I didn't find Anthony Silva, really threatening. And look, I mean, we're going to be watching movies like Under Siege, which feature Eric fucking Bogosian and Tommy Lee Jones. I mean, look, in Under Siege 2, you
Gary
have
fucking Busey.
Yeah, and in Under Siege 2, you have the gentleman from Twin Peaks is in that one as the heavy.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then Gary Busey, I guess, is kind of the heavy in Under Siege 1.
Well, him and Tommy Lee Jones both.
But like, they're still not physically intimidating.
I mean,
and Seagal is.
They're more mentally intimidating. They more have the more smarts than physically. Busey's more crazy.
The problem is Steven Seagal is a Aikido master, which means he needs to be fighting people that are physically intimidating.
That's true.
He's not MacGyver. True. I mean, the problem is the characters that he's fighting in these films, the villains that he's going up against, are not involved in the plot the way a real villain should be.
In that way, Seagal films are like video games.
Kind of.
He has to go up against these little minor heavies before he goes up against the big boss.
Yeah, but even in video games, you don't just one-shot the boss.
True.
And we talked about this every time we've talked about a Seagal movie, is Seagal dispatches of the film's final protagonist or antagonist so easily that...
But I don't remember if we've talked about, does Seagal prefer this way? Does he not want to be seen as being easy?
Honestly, I think to answer your question, this has to be intentional.
An ego thing?
I think so. I don't know. Don't you think so? I mean, what other explanation is?
Well, I don't want to slight the guy any more than we already have, but
it keeps showing up, and it shows up in movies from 2018, and it shows up in movies from 1990.
It does. It does. He's very much. He seems like the kind of guy who's like, I don't want to get hit too much. I want to do the hit.
I don't want to look weak.
Exactly.
Which is fine. I mean, there are actors who are like that are worried about their image to the point of them completely losing it, like Seagal. I mean, this guy.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind the scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
I think is so worried about his image, real or perceived, that he is willing to sacrifice the story in this film, or so many of his films. The final climax of the film always feels so lackluster because Seagal can't get out of his own fucking way.
Well, I mean, he needs to, because frankly,
in this movie, he needs to. In the newer movies, maybe not so much, but in the newer movies, it's a different problem because he needs to get out of the way in the newer movies because he's not even the fucking hero of the film.
No, but
General Commander.
Let's not bring that up again. We've already suffered. We're talking about a good film, man. We need to.
Yeah, I know. This is a good movie. That's the fucking insane part. Is even in a good movie, even in a film we consider to be a good Seagal film,
a great Seagal film.
Yeah, one of his best, if not, in your opinion, his best. Mm-hmm. And I would be inclined to agree with you. It's at least in the conversation, if not the best one. Even this film has that problem. So what does that say about Steven Seagal?
I don't know. It says that I agree that he needs to get out of his own way. And
I've been saying that since the first episode.
You talk about his image, and he's so worried about his image, but it doesn't seem like he's worried about it much now.
Well, I don't know what Steven Seagal is worried about now. I mean, he doesn't, the movies that he makes are these films that come direct to DVD and or VOD now, and they're, Sunday not Skinemax, but Cinemax fair levels of stuff.
Even if it was Skinemax, at least it'd be somewhat interesting. There'd be like,
well, if it was Skinemax, if it was just Skinemax, you would hope there would be nudity.
Yeah, but even in the early '90s films, the Seagal films had some skin in them.
Yeah,
for no reason, but
no
at least
reason.
There was skin. I mean, this film at least had a Danny Trejo.
Yeah, and look, it has Keith David in it, and it
had Danielle Harris.
Oh yeah, I forget. Yeah, there's a lot of good things in this movie. Don't get me wrong, this is not a bad movie.
Not by a long shot.
No. Given the other films that we've watched, it's just I have to be under the impression that Seagal is asking for them to make his character look so strong, and that is hurting the film. There's no way you can't convince me that that's not the case, because just every time, man, it's fucking wild.
Well, I mean, he's doing a lot of fucking up in this film. I mean, he's breaking arms, brutal breaking arms.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, this movie there's a lot of violence in this movie. This is a fun movie.
Bloody, yeah.
The chase where they go into the mall.
The mall.
That's super interesting. Yeah, it's super cool.
Where he basically breaks the guy's head into every single jewelry section. And I mean, it's a great revenge flick because, it starts because he doesn't kill one of the guys. He gets one of the guys arrested. And that's when they decide they want revenge against the family. So there's a drive-by. And then the daughter gets shot. She ends up getting a swelling in her head. And so they need police protection. And then they end up coming back to their house and they leave a message, a cow tongue and the symbol, because it's a voodoo
curse.
Voodoo. Yeah, it's a voodoo gang, a posse, they call it.
Yeah. Jamaican posse, which is a term.
Well, at first, this one gangster tries to get them to leave him alone by going to a priestess, and a priestess tries to perform this incantation, which apparently he finds out about and sacrifices her. I believe that was her, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And sends her to hell, I think, what he says.
Yeah.
Say hi to hell.
As much as I appreciate and like the idea that apparently everybody from Jamaica is into voodoo and Haiti, look, I like this movie a lot, obviously, but like the whole voodoo Haiti thing, it's like... In this film, it's a MacGuffin because the twist of the film ends up having nothing to do with voodoo. But the assumption is that Screwface has control over the magical dark magic. I guess that's what the characters think in the movie, given what happens at the end, and then they were mistaken. So there's two Screwfaces, right?
Yeah, because they behead one of them.
Yes.
Then they run into the other Screwface, which dies in a elevator shaft.
So yeah, he dies in an elevator shaft, but not before Steven Seagal grabs him, gouges his fucking eyes out, and then breaks his spine on his knee like Bane and Batman, and then tosses his ass down the elevator shaft.
Yeah, he fucks him up pretty bad.
Oh yeah, Screwface in this film gets completely destroyed by the end of the movie. The fight between him and Seagal is good. I want more fights in these movies like that, because you have Screwface with a samurai sword fighting Steven Seagal. It's great.
Well, do you wish it was longer? Is that what your issue is?
Yeah, I mean, it's the final fight in the movie. Give it a little bit more time to breathe. There's no rush. The only rush that they have is the fact that they didn't leave themselves enough time to give the film a true climax. And ultimately, that's been my huge complaint with these movies. And I didn't realize or think that I thought my complaint with these movies is going to be that the acting was bad. I didn't think
the acting in this is really good.
Yeah. And again, like the acting has no issue.
I thought Seagal was actually very, very pretty good in this film.
Yeah, he's very Look, the thing about Seagal that you can't really level against him is he's a naturalistic actor. Yeah. And I say that in as much as like the person that he is the characters that he plays in his movies. I'm not sure that there's very much of a difference between Steven Seagal's badass characters in his movie and who he at least carries himself to be.
No, he likes to play pretty much who he is as a person.
Yeah.
All his films seems to be a person searching for a spiritual searching for spirituality.
Yeah.
All his films are a person seeking to be the good, seeking to be good or a better person.
Or make his community better, like in
exactly
the environmental movies. Yeah, look, that's the issue with Seagal. His sexual assaults and all of his terrible things that he's done aside.
Yeah,
Steven Seagal has done things in movies to try to spread the message about poisoning the natural lands of the northern parts of this country with oil, and and the EPA, and dumping toxic waste. I mean, some of these movies is like On Deadly Ground, Fire Down Below. They're like very heavy-handed messages.
Yeah, very.
Which is weird, but it's just I cannot understand these villains in these movies that Seagal is fighting not being remotely intimidating, not being remotely intimidating on a physical level with Seagal. Sure, they might be able to, run circles around him with their secret plan. But I mean, when it comes down to it, this isn't a Bond movie. That's like the only time you can get away with it is when it's a Bond villain.
Seagal never matches wit-wise. He never matches wit. He always matches strength.
Yeah. I mean, he's a bull in a china shop, very much so.
Bond is always a match with wit and strength.
Right. But nobody thinks James Bond is going to break someone's, back over their knee.
Although that'd be a hell of a Bond to see.
Well, and you know what? Daniel Craig's Bond would probably do it.
He would do it. And I would love, that'd be a great Bond to go out on.
I don't like Daniel Craig as James Bond. The problem with Daniel Craig is the same problem that Steven Seagal has.
What's that?
But the problem is neither one of them are very charismatic. And the problem with James Bond is you need to be charismatic to be James Bond.
I'm a Pierce Brosnan man myself.
Me too. I'm also a Timothy Dalton fan as well.
Well, they both had charisma. They both had charm.
Or everybody but Daniel Craig has charisma.
Did you know Sean Connery hated the character of James Bond?
Yeah, I mean, that was the least of Sean Connery's problems. I'm not one of those people that is like a Sean Connery fan. I'm more of a Sean Connery was a good actor, but he seemed like a real shitty human being.
If a woman wants a slap, she deserves a slap.
Slap her a couple times, and if she comes back, slap her again because she didn't listen the first 2 times. It's just this fucking sexist attitude that pervaded Hollywood.
It's the Roman Polanski thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, very much so. It's a open secret that women were, being treated terribly by men, and actors were treating their significant others terribly.
I mean, Steven Seagal,
is now the poster child for this stuff.
Yeah, but it's not talked about as much as it is. Well, because he's not in the spotlight.
No, that's 100% the reason. If Steven Seagal made a movie tomorrow that the public wanted to see
and gross like $100 million,
then Steven Seagal would get canceled.
Yeah, because
he would deserve it, given that he's had allegations against him since the early 90s.
Yeah, because that's just what would he deserve.
And that's also the kind of person that we know he is.
I think he might be one of the first victims of cancel. Because I think he was canceled and this is what happened.
Yeah, you think he was canceled in 96?
Maybe. Do you think his career do you think these allegations caused his career to?
Well, let's say this much. Steven Seagal's last studio film where he was the lead was in 1997. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that is what it is, but people knew Steven Seagal has a reputation that precedes him, right?
Well, yeah, I mean...
It's not like Tom Hanks where everyone's like, this guy is a fucking great human being.
Unless you're QAnon, then again, he's a baby blood drinking...
Well, they're all baby blood drinking Satanists, didn't you hear? But I mean, as early as 1991, when they were filming Out for Justice, there were accusations of sexual harassment.
I didn't know it was that early.
Yeah, I mean, they were still making movies with him, even though they knew it was going on. So I don't think it was that. I think what it was is Steven Seagal got, and it kind of does speak to it a little bit. I think Steven Seagal just got a reputation, and deservedly so. And we've talked about that before. And people just stopped working with him because he had a reputation. And that reputation is he is the guy who is making these movies where he doesn't let other people have screen time with him. I mean, we know about that. That's not something we're making up.
He never had like big co-stars.
And if he did, they were given no time because he didn't want them to have time.
I think the biggest co-star he ever had with a sidekick was like Keenan Ivory Wayans as the Glimmer Man.
Or marked for exit wounds. Was that DMX and
Ja Rule? Yeah,
Ja Rule, founder
and
of
what I hear
Fire
is
Festival.
His reputation with working with actors that are color, black actors, is not very good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I heard like an interview from DMX that he's like a complete racist prick.
Wow, which is funny given that they would end up in another film like 20 years later together.
Yeah, but you notice how they didn't have that many scenes.
Well, they didn't have any, did they?
Exactly.
They didn't have that many, as in none. But in regards to this movie specifically, though, of the things we've watched so far, it's definitely the best thing. And I think this may set the bar.
It's terrific. And thank God there were no sex scenes between him and the female lead.
Joanna Pacula.
Yeah, Joanna Pacula.
Well, that's the thing about Seagal. Like, I don't really find that Steven Seagal, like, there are some of these films, these action films that don't necessitate a female sidekick or
no.
And I think that Seagal fits into that area of action films where it's like, this guy doesn't need any kind of sidekicks, be they love interests or just sidekicks. I think Seagal can kind of stand on his own. And frankly, putting sidekicks in kind of muddies up the waters a little bit.
Well, that's what Seagal is known for, being the lone wolf.
Yeah.
The lone guy.
So let him have it.
Yeah. And that's what he does. He's good at it. Let him do it. Did you think the accents in this film were kind of exaggerated?
I mean, Basil Wallace is born in Jamaica. I think a Jamaican accent is one of those things where it's such a hard accent to do right that you very easily can slip into parody stereotype land.
Yeah. And
I don't think it goes there, though. I think it verges on it. But again, the problem with an accent that's as recognizable as Jamaica is because it's so recognizable, you can't fake it. You're either doing a Jamaican accent or you're not. You know,
yeah, pretty much.
It's not like it's not like general Southern accent where you can do a Southern accent and just someone can say you're from the South generally. You do a Jamaica accent, people know where you're from. Like, you're from the fucking islands, or at least you're pretending to be that character. And a lot of bullshit, a lot of shit comes with that, right?
Yeah, Bomba Clad, Jamaica.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of shit comes with that. And like, look, as white Americans,
yeah,
I'm glad that we're not being expected to do accents like that because
thank God.
Yeah, thank God, because I can't do a Jamaican accent and I can't do a convincing one, but Basil Wallace is.
I just did a very bad one, so there you go.
But I think to answer your question, I think it's good. It verges on getting close, but with an accent like a Jamaican accent, it's so recognizable that I think it's always going to tread that line.
Yeah. And I think that, I don't know. I think that.
Is it any different than fucking Alan Rickman doing generic Eastern European accent?
Oh, in Die Hard?
Yeah. Like, it's not like Alan Rickman is he's not doing a gem.
I couldn't tell what the hell accent that was in Die Hard. That was just Alan Rickman being Alan Rickman.
Yeah, but his character's name is Hans Gruber, which, I mean, and then all the other characters that are in, like, all the other characters that don't seem to be American seem to be German or weirdly Eastern European.
Except for the hacker guy.
Well, that's my point. The guy who's clearly an American. Like,
yeah.
The quarterback is toast. Like, yeah, like that guy's clearly an American. But I mean, that's the thing about a lot of these like late 80s, early 90s movies is you have ethno panic. Like, oh, they're Russians or they're Jamaicans.
Very much.
Well, look at Commando. Dan Hedaya playing like a Colombian drug lord.
Fucking Red Dawn, dude.
Yeah.
Red Dawn is the pinnacle of Euro panic.
Yeah, well,
the Russians are coming. The Russians are coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's
even the fucking remake did it.
Yeah, what's the same? And it's the same thing at this. It's like, oh, the Jamaican gang is here. It's like, why do they have to be Jamaican?
I don't know. Why do they have to be black and selling crack to us? That's kind of a
that just plays into the stereotype. But
isn't it though? That was it's a little offensive.
I mean, it's again, to me, it's just the whole voodoo aspect. I like the voodoo aspect, but the voodoo, like, it's very much like with other things. And I do a podcast about Tales from the Crypt, and voodoo has come up a lot in Tales from the Crypt because that's a very common place for them to go to, is a voodoo storyline, or, you know, something similar, Santeria, shit like that, where it's like a Caribbean a Caribbean
Wasn't that
belief religion.
Ritual? Wasn't that
Ritual had it too, and then there are episodes of Tales from the Crypt that have voodoo, and this movie gets about as close as you can get without saying it, because there is a time in this movie where you think Screwface might be a zombie.
Yeah, pretty much, because they go up to the gang members, hold up the head, tell him Screwface is dead, and
then Screwface shows up.
Yeah, basically,
and kills one of the characters played by Tom Wright,
who is best known for playing, who I know most from playing the guy in Seinfeld who works for the Yankees, who George keeps trying to impress because he needs a black friend. He wants to show the guy that he's not racist.
I've never seen any Seinfeld.
Oh, I have. I prefer Curb Your Enthusiasm, but Seinfeld's funny too. But that's what I most know him for. He's a terrific actor.
But it like this movie goes to that zombie edge that
I would have loved it if it went all the way with it.
Well, I mean, yeah, me too. I mean,
Steven
of course,
Seagal versus zombies. Come on.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, I would rather see a Steven Seagal versus zombies movie and not a Steven Seagal crime movie that has a zombie storyline shoehorned in at the 9th hour or the 11th hour because all voodoo things.
So is George Romero's dead, so I guess he couldn't. Yeah.
Well, and Seagal's been in that vampire movie that we're going to be talking about soon, and apparently he's barely in it. So there's an opportunity.
How about getting Steven Seagal with Uwe Boll and remaking House of the Dead?
I don't think Uwe Boll is a terrible director.
No, I don't either. Compared to other directors, he's a fucking master at a craft. At least Uwe Boll knows what he's doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Off on the tangent. But Steven Seagal, I mean, if he did other genres, this movie hints at other genres that really could do Seagal well if he tried.
Yeah, I mean, again, it gets very close to horror tropes where you have this character come back and then it turns out it's his twin. So yeah, if it had gone farther into what I would consider to be classic horror, I think this would be a very different movie. I think it would be a very interesting movie, but I don't know if it would work as well as this film does, because the twist in this movie is pretty, I like the twist in this movie.
Yeah.
It does kind of feel a tad unearned. They say, he's got 2 heads and 4 eyes. Like, okay, but
there's never a third one.
Yeah, and it's like, fucking Christ. Okay, so it's playing into that, like, oh, he's all seeing, he's magic, and then it turns out he has a twin. I agree. I think I would have liked maybe not a zombie, but maybe something like not really what Rasputin was, but in that vein of like Rasputin, where it's like he's a madman who can keep himself alive with the voodoo. And I think that could have been interesting. I think that could have been fun. And then Seagal breaks his back and he's like, "You're not coming back from this one." Like, I mean, that could have been fun, but instead they go this, like, the twist in this film does kind of come out of left field, because they never mention he has a twin brother before. They kind of hint at it, like, oh, he's kind of he's all the places all the time.
It feels like it's kind of like forced.
Yeah,
it's like,
100%.
How do we explain that he's come back after being beheaded?
Secret twin brother.
Fuck it, he has a twin
who looks just like him and sounds just like him, and is so indiscernible from everything else that there's no way you could tell him apart, and he's played by the same actor.
Okay,
he looks identical.
Yeah. Fuck it, go do it.
Yeah, it's kind of lazy. That's kind of
very lazy writing.
And it's very unearned. It's like they got to the end of the movie and said, "Hey, we need to figure out one more fight scene," and they decided. And look, the end fight scene is fantastic, but that's also because the scene in Kingston is such a fake out. And like, honestly, it didn't need to be a fake out. You could have used, you know what you could have done? What they should have done is swap them. Have him kill Screwface in the elevator shaft and then have him go to Jamaica. And they're like, well, we heard rumblings that Screwface is in Jamaica, so we'll go check it out and see. Like, I've never understood, and I've seen this movie like 3 or 4 times now. I don't understand why the Jamaica stuff is before the finale of the film. The stuff in Jamaica should be the finale. The final part of the movie should be in Jamaica.
Well, that makes more storytelling sense.
Yeah, have the climax in Jamaica, not in like the weird abandoned pool skate park that they're using as their
a lot of that's a 90s trope. Have the finale of an action film in an abandoned
building,
something or other.
I'm kind of surprised Screwface didn't fall off of a building.
Yeah, abandoned steam factory, abandoned warehouse, abandoned schoolyard, abandoned whatever.
Yeah,
that's a trope that the 90s used heartily.
Yeah, I really think that the Kingston stuff should have been the end of the film.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not mad at how it ended.
No, but it's just if you want to see, I say that because the storytelling device that they're using of him having a twin is rooted in faking you out with the voodoo stuff. And so it's weird to me that they use the fake out with the voodoo stuff in Jamaica, not faking it out in Chicago to then have the story finish in Jamaica.
Do
you know what I mean?
I can agree with that.
My issue with the ending aside, because again, the fight between I don't dislike either fight. I want them both in the film. Obviously, it's just I think the order is backwards. I will say of all of the films that we've watched so far, and again, I don't know about some of the later stuff because we've never seen it, but I can speak for the things I have seen. This is probably my favorite Seagal movie.
Well, it is my favorite Seagal film. It's the one that I think holds up the best. It's the one I think has the best action. I think it's the one that has the most interesting story. It may not be structured the best,
and it is kind of predicated on a twist, which none of these movies we watched up until this point are predicated on.
No, but it's at least trying something different.
Yeah. I just wish it had actually done it. Like, actually do the horror stuff. What would be the worst thing about introducing some horror tropes and them actually being part of the film's makeup? It is a voodoo movie. Well, it is a voodoo movie. End of the day, it will always be a voodoo.
Well, I just don't think, I don't know if Seagal really is into horror. I think he's more action. He'll do sci-fi if he's pushed.
Has he ever done sci-fi? I guess is the vampire movie sci-fi?
He'll do I think he'll do like very minimal horror.
I don't really, when I think of Seagal, I don't think of him as anyone other than an action star, right? Like, he was in Machete where he's kind of sending up the characters he plays as. And sure, he was in the Onion movie as Cock Puncher, but one time, this is the same guy who couldn't get another invitation to fucking SNL. Okay. Like, well, I mean, this guy plays in kind of a playground of one. You know what? It kind of does. It kind of does. That's his own fault.
It is his own fault. And I don't know what to say. I mean, the guy works, the guy does what he wants to do.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
I do think though that this is a better version of Above the Law. I think it's substantially different from Hard to Kill. I like this more than Hard to Kill.
This is way better this is the best Seagal film. If not his best, this is definitely top 3.
Do you think Under Siege is better? What are the things you think might be better than this is my question.
Oh, damn. Under Siege.
Maybe we'll be surprised by something by rewatching it.
You know what, though? I remember Under Siege 2 being so much fun.
It is. It is fun. It is fun. I'll give you that.
As you say, Hatem enters the chat.
Yeah, Richard Hatem has entered the chat.
Because I saw it in the theater. I remember having a damn good time watching it. I did like Under Siege 2 one hell of a lot. A hell of a lot. What did I say? One hell of a lot. I did like both Under Siege films quite a bit. Those are pretty good contenders. One seems to be more taken seriously as an action film than the other one is.
Yeah.
But I still think Under Siege 2 has merit as an action film, as a Seagal film.
I think these 4 movies, Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Marked for Death, Out for Justice, they signify a small scale version of what we're about to see. Because we're about to see, once we watch Out for Justice in 2 episodes, then we'll be watching Under Siege, which is a big budget action. These aren't big budget action movies. I mean, these aren't like multi-million-dollar films. These are what, like 5, 10, if that?
Yeah,
this movie was 12 million. Like,
wow, that
Under
much?
Siege. Under Siege is going to be like 20 million, at least 30 million.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're filming on a fucking.
But that's my point.
Airport.
These are very small movies, and then Steven Seagal becomes big time action star. And I think that might be where this all went sideways. Is the moment Seagal went from like making these very small scale, not trying to save the world. I mean, in Under Siege 1 and 2, he's trying to save the world. In this, he's fighting drug dealers in Chicago. You know, I think once you open up the world to Seagal and you're asking him to be the world's hero, he has too many sharp edges to be the world's hero.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this movie's great because he's just fighting a bunch of fucking drug dealers. Don't ask him to save the world, because that's not the guy you want saving the world. You don't want to give that guy credit for saving the world.
He kind of does in Under Siege 2. But in Under Siege 1 and in Under Siege 2, he saves the world, right? Yeah. But like, that's not the guy you want to give credit for saving the world because he's so unlikable. I mean, he's Casey fucking Ryback in those movies.
I know. And then in this, he's John Hatcher. And then the next movie, he's got the best character name of all.
Axe.
Gino Felino. Oh, yeah, attrition, right. No, I was talking about Out for Justice. Gino Felino.
Gino Felino?
A dumb name.
Is that the film after Attrition?
Yeah, Out for Justice,
okay.
Yeah, next is Attrition.
Attrition.
From 2018.
Baby.
Would you give Marked for Death ponytail or no ponytail?
Marked for Death? I'd give it fucking 4 ponytails.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. This is one of those ones where, like, us talking about it ain't gonna do it justice. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie.
It ain't gonna do it out for justice. It's not
it may be beyond the law.
Oh God, yeah. It's above beyond the law. It's beyond above the law. It's hard to kill, man.
I'm interested to see what Attrition is, because Attrition seems to be a very different film than we've gotten up until now.
Yeah, I'm interested in Attrition because, one, we're getting 2 different plot synopsises from IMDb and Wikipedia.
It's true. One says it's a supernatural style movie, and the other one says it's just a kung fu movie.
Yeah.
Or Wing Chun, as it says on Wikipedia, which is Western Chinese kung fu, I think. So
everybody Wing Chun tonight.
Yeah, exactly. It's Southern Chinese kung fu, excuse me. So that'll be, again, this is going to be a movie where Seagal's not going to have guns. It's going to just be Seagal, hopefully.
See, I like watching Seagal when he doesn't have guns. I love watching Seagal do his,
I do as well, but I think my issue with it is we haven't seen it enough. So the times that he's done it have felt like we're painted into a corner. How does he kill the bad guy? Because the bad guy got too close. Like, that has been the way the bad guys have died in all these movies have been, they get too close to him and he just breaks their fucking neck immediately. He did it to Basil Wallace. He did it to Henry Silva. He did it to Johnny Mesner. The only person he didn't do it to was William Sadler. But he wanted to.
William Sadler, man.
Yeah,
you can't kill William Sadler because William Sadler is awesome. I'd like to think if he killed William Sadler, he would have become the Grim Reaper from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
But my point is, like, I would like to see other people actually put up some fight with Seagal.
I want to see a Seagal fight where someone actually
can match him.
Exactly. And, I want to see a good 10-minute fight.
Yeah.
Where it's like down and dirty, like,
isn't it kind of insane that we haven't seen that yet? And we're like, 5 movies in?
I think we're more than 5. Are we more? Oh, I guess 5.
It's just, even in Arnold movies, Arnold gets his ass beat. But Seagal doesn't get his ass beat.
Arnold, I think, has the
self-awareness.
Humility. He has humility.
Well, also, Arnold knows when he's not the screenwriter and not to try and have the screenwriters cow-tie the movie to him.
Yeah. And he knows how to share the screen.
Yeah. Some of Arnold's best lines are coming from the people he shares the screen with, like when he's on screen with Richard Dawson. Yes, that's a thing.
From The Running Man.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That is some of the best. Yeah, it has some of the best one-liners. But that's the thing with Seagal. I think it's just like, my hope is we're going to see some more things of Seagal doing some stuff we're not used to.
And I'm looking forward to that because I'm up for seeing Seagal doing many different things because different Seagal is good.
Versus just him doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So until then, Trevor, where can people find you?
Well, once a month, you can find me on the Kulturecast with my co-host here, Chris Stachiw. And you can find me on Twitter at Case Neuromancer, but I'm going to change that because it's too long and too awkward. And frankly, I'm tired of people making fun of me for it.
Who's making fun of you for it? What is there to make fun of?
I don't know. I'm just, okay, I made it up just to get sympathy. Stop.
I get called on it too. Wow. Unintentionally called.
I was making a joke. Give it up.
I was wondering who was making fun of you for your Twitter handle.
I was joking. Where can people find you, Mr. Stachiw?
You can find me on Twitter at Christmas Claus. Yes, that is my Twitter handle. No, I am not changing it. Yes, I changed it because my old one wasn't great and my new one's not much better, but that's fine. And you can find me there on Twitter, and you can find me at the Kulturecast, like Trevor mentioned, and Dreams for Sale, and Barney Miller, the Barney Miller podcast, and Chronicles from the Crypt. And that's it. Oh, and Scary Stories. There's a lot of stuff. Just follow me on Twitter. That's it. It's the only place you need to go. Big thanks, as always, to... I can't thank anybody for this because we do all the work. So yeah, make sure to check us out on the next episode.